Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit or two and to hang out with all of you. And first thing first, I'm going to throw the Bear Cave Lego site Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes, or you can be a lurker if all you want to do is lurk. Lashbrook is here. Ghost Valve is here. Ash is here. Welcome, everyone. Hello to all of you. Happy to have you here on this fine Thursday evening. Hold on one second because something's going weird here. Oh, something happened there, and I wasn't sure what was going on there. But I can tell you that Aristophan is here with the Tier 2 sub, 68 months. Thank you so much. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site Tier 2 blue emote in the chat and thank Aristophan for that. That's so kind of you, Aristophan. Thank you for the 68 months and for being a Tier 2 subscriber. Yeah, we can throw some emotes in the chat. But welcome, everybody. Happy to have you here on this fine Thursday evening. As I've said, nearly nice. Yes, next month it will be nice. We are currently, speaking of subscribers, hello, Lashbrook is throwing in the emotes, of course. We are currently at 31 subscribers. The goal is to get to 50. I understand that 50 and 31 are not like right around the corner from one another. Now, should I say, let's make the goal 40. Let's try to make the goal 40 and get to 40. I could do that. We're not going to do that because then I would have to increase it to 50 because I want the goal to be 50. So let's just say that I want it to be 50, and then if we get to 50, great. And if we don't get to 50, okay. If you want to become a subscriber, this is a great time to do it. It's always a good time. If you want to gift a sub, you can immediately, with one gifted sub, be at the top of the gift sub leaderboard because it's a new month, baby. It's May 2nd here in the East Coast, United States. Hey, Lord Crashington, welcome. But yeah, it is, Lord Crashington realizes, as I was saying, it's the beginning of May, which means we have a new dance. Thank you for using your channel points vis-a-vis making me do the new dance. New song for the month, and here is the new song. Enjoy it. Here it goes. Oh yeah. You can't see it. You can see the chair moving, which tells you that my hips are moving and shaking. And it feels like it's going to build into something, and then it doesn't really. There's just like more guitar. That's the new song. Oh yeah, when my hips go, you can see the back of the chair moving. But you know, that is a hip shaker. And yes, that's the new song. Can't have hip moves on stream. Elvis rules. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You can't see my hips. You can infer that my hips are shaking. There's a whole lot of shaking going on, but you can't see them. So you infer it, but you don't see it. So it's okay. Yeah, that song feels like it's building, and then it just keeps going, and it's fun. I downloaded a bunch of new songs because the last one from May was the last of the previous batch. And since I downloaded a bunch of songs with Stream Deck, they changed it. So now it has to go through a web interface instead of going through just the Stream Deck, which is annoying. It adds another step that is weird. Maybe I was doing it wrong. I don't know. As I said, it's been a while. What hasn't been a while is model kit building, because I did it on Monday. And on Monday, we made so much dang progress on Metalgarurumon. As you can see, Metalgarurumon doesn't have wings yet. Needs wings. Does have missile launchers and 3 out of 4 legs and a head and various components. All stickers that are on, but does not at present moment have wings or a 4th leg. So we got to put a leg on this. Gurumon has been asking me since Monday and was like, hey, why don't I have a 4th leg? And I was like, you'll get one. Don't worry about it. I didn't want to stay late on Monday to finish this kit up. So we're going to get into it now. So I need B2 16s. We'll do that. Ash says, shoot for the moon when it comes to subscriber numbers, Pat. I haven't had time for much Twitch lately because I'm usually hanging out with my partner during prime Twitch hours if I'm awake, but I'm always happy to be here when I have time. Well, I appreciate you being here. I understand that my schedule and your schedule don't quite line up. what with where each of us are in the world. I appreciate you being here, and that goes honestly. Obviously, I appreciate everybody being here, but that goes without saying for all of y'all that you being a subscriber means a lot to me. But if that $5 could go towards other things in your life that are more necessary or whatever, or you're like, I don't know, Pat, I tried to do the math and I don't want to do the math anymore. Like, I get that. Somebody bounced out of my Patreon and they sent me a note, which I should also say, you don't owe me a note. A note is fine. If I was a bigger small business and I was offering a product instead of entertainment for your time, I would say probably the like exit things would be helpful. But for me, as someone that is just doing their thing and then people choose to support that, which is wild and great, I don't necessarily need the exit. But this person was like, Pat, I did the math and I have given you hundreds of dollars and I don't watch the streams much anymore. And I was like, that's fucking fair. I guess I would say, and that includes myself because I am also somebody that supports a few Patreon out there. Yeah, I don't want to look. I support a Patreon and their podcast. I think I have like 5 of their podcasts because they're a weekly podcast. I think I have like 5 in the queue because I added another big podcast to my listening, and I don't have a commute. So my podcast listening time is when I am walking or exercising, which I do every day. I do one or the other or both every day. So, but it's not as much as when I had like a 45-minute commute and was doing stuff around the house and would just like if I do errands, if I have to go on errands, it's a car ride. And I don't listen to podcasts in the car because I'm in the car with someone else. So I have to do errands. Like I said, I don't listen to podcasts during errands. I don't listen to podcasts when I'm just like when I'm working on other things because I like to be at least somewhat of an active listener. And so, yeah, I just haven't gotten to, but I still want to support them on Patreon because I want them to keep doing the thing they do because I like it. But it is the thing where I'm like I don't eat at the level I'm at with Nextlander. I get their weekly podcast, ad free, great, love that. I've never heard an ad during a Nextlander main podcast because I've always given them a bit of money. And then like on a week behind basis, I get access to 2 other podcasts from them. They're like Hangout podcast, which is sometimes about games, but can be about whatever. And then their movie podcast or TV podcast. And I don't listen to the movie or TV one because I just don't have time in my schedule for it. I'm happy that it exists. I'm happy that I contribute to it existing. But it is a thing where I'm like, yeah, I just don't have the notion in me that I'm like, that's a thing that I'm going to go and seek out. Like, it's cool that it exists, but I don't feel like I pay for that. And there are people who support me on Patreon that don't watch my streams, that watch some of my videos on YouTube, but probably not all of them. And a few people that are just like kind of giving me a monthly tip. They're just like, I like you keep doing what you're doing, which is wild and cool. And sometimes I feel like I fully understand that and can appreciate it. And sometimes it does take me a second to just be like, that's weird. It's very cool, but it's weird that people are like, yeah, keep doing it. I don't know. I feel grateful for it, I should say. All right. We got some things and things to talk about tonight, so we can get into some conversation here. I got to get this whole leg together here, and then we're going to panel line it before we connect it. Money has definitely been tight lately. Inflation in Europe has been a lot since the war in Ukraine picked back up. Yeah, I mean, I don't pretend to know all of the details over there, but I understand. I can. I could figure it out. And like, yeah, times are tough. Things are rough all over, especially with people with fixed incomes, and those fixed incomes don't always increase with the cost of living or the cost of goods or the cost of services. And in fact, across the world, even in countries that have a support system in place, that have spent time and energy to facilitate those things, they're not always on the up and up or on the quick, I should at least say. Whereas even if the heart is in the right place, there are plenty of parts of the world where people are just like, oh yeah, we will get up your cost of living so that it is further in line with all of the bills and such that you have. But they're not fast about it. Nobody's fast about it. And that could be rough for a lot of people. But it does always feel like everything goes up before pay. Pay is the last thing to go up, which is bad. I would describe that as bad. We got some things to talk about tonight. Speaking of things going up, you may have heard CEOs with that money for me, but not for the attitude. Yes, John. Also, I'm John. Yes. Indeed. So Crunchyroll is going to increase their monthly rate. Not for the regular one, though. The fan tier, which is their low-end tier, which did have a increase earlier in 2019. They basically set a bunch of stuff in place, and then they added new tiers. And then last year, or 2 years ago, they actually, because they made it more about a local money, they actually made it cheaper in some countries, which is kind of neat. But yeah, they are increasing the price for their Mega Fan and Ultimate Fan tier. Are those terrible naming conventions? Of course. Fan tier is wild because I'm not a fan of Crunchyroll. I am a person that pays them a monthly fee to watch anime. Don't call me a fan. I'm a customer. It should be the customer tier, and then the mega customer and ultra customer. Basically, as far as I can understand, if you live in a household where a lot of people want to watch Crunchyroll, then the Ultimate Fan tier makes sense because you get 6 devices at the same time, whereas the Mega one, the one lower, is 4 devices at the same time, and you get offline viewing, so you can do a temporary download on their apps and then watch, which is, I'm sure there is an instance where that's cool. I guess that would be particularly great if you live in an area with spotty internet, where streaming wasn't something that was great. And there's discounts in their store, so that does benefit. If you want to go through their store, you get more of a discount by paying way too much a month, $16 a month. Also, they have their game vault, and that's not worth it. That is not the games that are going to be in there. You don't want. You're good. And then there's also they have convention exclusives sometimes, even though they're not really going to conventions as much as they used to, and you can order those if you aren't going to be at the convention. And so you literally do need to be a Crunchyroll fan, like a capital F fan of Crunchyroll, for those extra things to really make sense. Or like I said, if you have a family or an apartment full of people, but yeah, it doesn't. $8 a month for unlimited anime of almost all of the anime, because High Dive doesn't do that much these days. They do some, but they don't do that much. So High Dive isn't really a super competitor. And then Disney Plus has a few things. Hulu sometimes has exclusives. Netflix. It really is Crunchyroll and then a few other places. So, like, if you are wanting to watch anime in your region, Crunchyroll is probably the way to go for most of the stuff. And, like, so yeah, there is in the price. I get the 4-device version when I'm subscribed to share with the Polycule and stuff. I just sub when there's something specific we want to watch together. Yeah, I am that way about High Dive. Right now, there is one show that on a weekly basis I watch, and then I got caught up on a few other things that I didn't watch previously. But I don't pay for High Dive on a monthly basis right now. It's just for, which of the shows that I want? I forgot. Oh yeah, Whisper Me a Love Song. Whisper Me a Love Song for me is worth High Dive on a monthly basis, and then there will be other stuff. And hey, here's the thing. Sometimes I just want to put on Nan Biori, one of the 3 seasons or the movie of Nan Biori. I just want to put it on. All of it is on High Dive. And so if I just want to watch some Nan Biori and I have High Dive that month, that's great. I'm similar boat with Netflix, although Netflix, I will just, these days with Netflix, I often will just wait for the show I want to watch to be over, and then I will go and watch that. It would be, for me, honestly, kind of convenient if Amazon got back into anime, because I'm never going to not pay for Amazon Prime because I want the shipping benefits, because I buy a lot of model kits. So if they got back into anime and actually just didn't charge extra like they tried to do, I would be really happy about that. Crunchyroll and Netflix are the only service that legally offer anime in your region. Well, there you go. Yeah. High Dive has not branched out everywhere. AMC owns them, and now. But yeah, they haven't necessarily branched out in all territories. All right, let's get this. We'll get this cleaned up. We'll do the other wing. We're almost done with this kit, and then we'll move on to the R-GyaGya, which is very fun to say. It sounds like I'm messing up when I say it, but that's how you say it. All right, so that was the Crunchyroll thing. What do we got here? Oh yeah, hey. Let's see. Let's talk about it appears that Take-Two is laying people off. Take-Two, who spent $480 million, $460. I apologize. Take-Two spent $460 million purchasing Gearbox from Embracer. They had publishing deals with Gearbox for many years and had control over a few IP as long as Gearbox made those IP. So it made sense, but they spent a lot of money. And apparently, in an effort to recoup some of that money, they're just going to lay off consistent but small development teams. Roll 7, who they acquired in 2021, so 3 years ago. Almost 3 years ago because of the time or whatever. 2 and something years ago. The UK studio, or Take-Two, Apparently, Roll 7, the makers of Ali Ali World and Roller Drome, are being shuttered. And they're laying off about 70 people in Seattle, which is where Take-Two has Intercept Games, the makers of Kerbal Space Program 2, which is still in early access. And Take-Two's comments, they have not commented on the layoffs, but they said, hey, Kerbal Space Program 2 is still going to be in development. So are they going to move some of those people? Are they going to shift development to another studio and just have it take it over? We don't know. They have not made official statements about this. This is from Bloomberg reporting, so this has not been official, but it is. It seems very likely. But But it appears that they are looking to reduce their workforce to make up for their huge amount of money they spent on Gearbox, which sucks. In other news, the Dutch studio, Paladin Studios, is closing after 19 years as a developer. They were a support studio. They worked on a lot of stuff. Cut the Rope Remastered was their last big game they almost exclusively worked by themselves on. They worked on the amazing Katamari Damacy, and they worked on a lot of stuff. Galaga Wars. They were a for-hire development. They were a studio of 45. According to them, at one point, they were a studio of 55 at their biggest. And they basically said, looking at the landscape and the contracts that are out there, they just basically were like, we are not going to be able to continue as a studio. Which is a real shame. Ash says, the entire Embracer situation is so fucked. I didn't know that you could buy a company and then spin it off as its own thing and saddle it with all your debt like they did with Asmodee. Yes, so Ash, that's what happened to Toys R Us in America. Toys R Us, synonymous with toys and selling toys to kids. People were very confused because they were like, are kids not buying toys anymore? What happened to Toys R Us? Well, the answer is they got bought by people who then saddled them not only with the money they spent to buy them, but also other debts they incurred in other places. And they transferred the debt onto Toys R Us so that Toys R Us would sink. That's why Toys R Us still exists in Canada, but doesn't exist in America because they don't own, because that hedge fund doesn't own the rights to the name Toys R Us in Canada. John says, I went to a real Toys R Us in Japan, and it was sad and nostalgic. Yeah, Lord Crashington, it very much should be. Yeah, Asmodee has been dumped with a bunch of debt. Asmodee, who were making money and would continue, theoretically, to make money for the folks at Embracer. Instead, they're like, well, this thing can print money, so let's make it pay off our debts. And also Twitter, yes, Lashbrook, part of Twitter's deal with Musk was that they pay back some of the money he borrowed to buy them, which should not be a thing. Asmodee is such a big part of the board game space, it'll be a real mess. Yes, it will most assuredly cripple them. And there will have to be layoffs because they'll be told by Embracer, well, we got to lay some people off because you're in such debt. The debt we gave you. Yeah, everybody's out of a job at Paladin Studios. Also, another support studio, Very, Very Spaceship, is having layoffs, which is a Seattle-based studio, which you possibly have never heard of because they are, again, a sports studio. They are a for-hire studio that works on other people's games. You may know them best as the people that revamped the character creator in Pokemon Go. The recent character creator changes were done by Very, Very Spaceship. And it looks like we don't know how many people, but it's producers, recruiters, artists, the HR manager, which is a bad sign when your HR manager gets laid off. Yeah. Also, yesterday, Balka Games is cutting 20%, which is about 33 people of its workforce. By Balka Games is their mobile studio. And they have just been losing money. So yeah, with all of those layoffs happening, and remember, Take-Two also had layoffs in April. Yeah, Embracer isn't going to be selling off the rights to games Asmodee owns because the Embracer CEO seems to just want to own as many game properties as possible. Well, that's the thing, right? That there is possible value in IP. So you don't, like, if they control the IP, they can bundle sell the IP to other people eventually. They don't want to get rid of IP because someone else could do the work to make that IP worth more money without them knowing it or doing anything with it. And they could suddenly make money off that. Now, does that make any sense? Of fucking course it doesn't. But also, Embracer doesn't make any sense because if you think about it too hard, you just get fucking furious. They could buy the IP from themselves in bankruptcy. Yeah, I mean, they could have another company buy the IP, which is they are that company, and try to get away with that. They could liquidate those things, yes, if some of those do split off. All right, let's take a photo of Metalgarurumon. I got to take a pause from being mad to take a photo of Metalgarurumon in all their glory. We finished Metalgarurumon, one of a few Digimon figurized kits that I have built on stream. I do like Metalgarurumon. I think it's a good vibe, good colors. The stickers were easy to apply and made sense. I like the sword tail. That's just fun. There is some movement allowed for these things. The mouth opens and closes. I think that's good. Yeah, this is a solid kit that I enjoyed working on. I didn't like that all of these things here on this piece are these. Everything red here is a sticker, individual stickers, and I don't like that. I feel like that didn't need to be a sticker. Those could have just been plastic. But other than that, Metalgarurumon. Not bad at all. And with Metalgarurumon done, it is time to move on to our next build, which is, of course, the R-GyaGya. Lord Crashton, it is raised. It's raised plastic with stickers over it. So it is raised. The dog does have wings. These parts are raised. It's just the parts behind it weren't colored. So you had to put a sticker on over it. So that is a sticker. That's a sticker. That's a sticker. That's a sticker. But the piece behind it is not the right color. And I don't know why they did that, but they didn't. They did that. It's weird. Yeah. So it's both raised and a sticker. Not great. So we're going to move on to the R-GyaGya. This kit is from the year I don't remember. The R-GyaGya is from 2014. It is part of the Build Fighters series. It is a knight-based kit, which a knight with a K, and I love a knight kit. Folks may be aware of that. That I am a big fan. So yeah, 10-year-old kit. I believe all these parts are from 2014. Before we get into this kit, I will say one thing. I don't say this. You know this. I wish this gold was better. I think this gold is a little too yellow for my liking. And if I was going to paint something, and I don't have any plans to paint it. If I was going to paint, I would paint this to be a nice, like, brighter gold. It's a little yellow for my liking. I'm not the biggest fan of this. I think it'll look good on this kit, but I don't love it. This gold and this gold, it doesn't pop as much as I would like. But we'll get into this build because we are starting with the chest, which means we immediately start with 2 fucking stickers. We're immediately starting with stickers on this kit. Can you believe it? Immediate stickers. But yeah, I'm looking forward to putting this together. I have not seen this in the show, but I like its vibes. I think I do like a knight, you know, tall geese, one of the best. So I do like that, you know. Let's see. Other news. Unfortunately, that is the most gaming news stuff I want to talk about. There just doesn't seem to be anything fun going on in news today, which is a shame. You got a pretty decent at sticker application, but it's been a few years since I did last now, so I bet it's a disaster again. Yeah, I mean, you just have to take your time with it. You know, it's not certainly, it's not something that I was immediately good at, but I got better at it over the course of, you know, streaming and applying stickers quite a bit. Let's see. Why don't we, right now, we'll talk a little bit. Hey, there's a big wrestling show on Saturday, in the afternoon here for the United States, because it's actually not a Saturday day. How do I just go? WWE is doing a show in France. And instead of having the live crowd having to come at a weird time so it could be Saturday night in America, they're doing a Saturday afternoon show. I believe the pre-show starts at noon and the show kicks off at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. So it's bright and early in the morning. And you're saying, Pat, why would they do that when their audience is certainly international? But their international audience is used to getting up early or staying up late to watching shows, except in where a majority of their audience is, which is in the United States. And the answer is because France probably paid them a lot of fucking money. And the French venue and the people that, you know, are with the hotels and the people that are having the restaurants and everybody definitely 100%, totally and completely want a show to be in the evening so they can make a bunch of money, which makes sense. So yeah, Backlash France. Backlash has become in the past few years the pay-per-view directly after the next pay-per-view after WrestleMania. In years past, that has meant that it is just all like rematches, and we're getting a little bit of that fallout from WrestleMania, but we're getting a few other new things as well. Right now, the card has, I believe, 6 matches, and that could, yes, 5 matches, which for a like a B show, like a lower show, that's not too surprising. That's a little bit, that's kind of their vibe. There is a chance there might be a pre-show match that might get, you know, come in. There's always the chance that Baron Corbin will be there because I don't know why this happened. Sometimes this shit happens. Sometimes a country decides that they like a wrestler because nobody likes that wrestler. Now, Baron Corbin has his fans. He certainly works very well. He's a guy that is fun to boo. But France decided that they really love Baron Corbin, and it's not like outside the possibility that Baron Corbin might get flown out just to be in like a pre-show match, because France collectively, the French audience has decided that they are fans of Baron Corbin. Right now, he is not on the card. What's on the card? We got 2 big old title matches for the world titles. The undisputed WWE Championship is being defended by Cody Rhodes in his first pay-per-view defense against AJ Styles. Somehow, the two of them have never wrestled each other in a singles match. They did not cross paths. Cody was still Stardust in WWE looking for his release when AJ came in. And then Cody worked for TNA briefly with the NWA, and then also New Japan and Ring of Honor and then AEW, and then back. And since he's come back, he got injured when AJ was coming back, and then AJ got injured, and they just haven't crossed paths, which is kind of interesting. But they're going to wrestle, and Cody's going to win. I honestly believe only one set of belts are going to change hands. There's a slight chance that another set of belts will go change hands. But I think it's only going to be the one. We'll talk about it. Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles. That's going to be a good one. That'll be a long match. Some good ring psychology. We might see some cheating from AJ because he can be a dirty cheater right now. I think that will be probably match of the night. That will probably be the match of the night just because those two are really going to want to work with each other. And I think their pardon the pun, their styles are going to mesh well. F8 and F9. I got to put a sticker on here. I should probably put these stickers on first because I don't know where they go or exactly how they go in. 7 and 6. All right, so try to get this sticker out here without breaking it. All right. These are tiny color correcting stickers. That was very annoying to get out. I could just do this sticker with a marker and I think it would be just fine, but I will put the stickers on because it's good to, work with small stickers and big stickers and stickers you have to bend and fold around pieces and work in a 3D environment. And maybe that will look better than a black marker in that spot, but these are very tiny. The other main championship, we've got Damian Priest defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Jey Uso. Main event Jey Uso certainly could hold that belt. I feel like it would be weird for them to take the belt off Damian Priest after he cashed in at WrestleMania. They could, I guess, make Jey the champion. It would feel very weird if they did. I think it's unlikely. I think it's way more likely that they'll just have a really good match. Jey Uso, I want a good match, him to have a good match at a pay-per-view because Jimmy versus Jey was such a disappointment at WrestleMania. So I would like him to have a banger getting it going. Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane are defending the WWE Women's Tag Championships against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. This is the title change. These are the belts that are going to change hands. Jade is not going to have her first loss in WWE that isn't the Royal Rumble. Her first non-Rumble loss will not be in France. Her with the tag belts with Bianca make a ton of sense. It kind of allows... I think a tag team is a perfect spot for Jade. Bianca can work hard and then make the hot tag, and then Jade can clear house, and then Jade's going to pin Kairi Sane after giving Kairi her finish. Look, do I want the world for Asuka? Of course I fucking do. But I'm not one of those people that thinks that Asuka's never won anything. Because if you talk to some WWE fans, they like to pretend that Asuka has never won anything. That she was undefeated at NXT and then moved to the main roster and then just started losing and never won a single thing. Including the belt she currently has. But no, I do think that Asuka should be a singles wrestler. I think this tag team has been fun. I think Kairi Sane has come back to WWE a worse wrestler than when she left, which is weird because she was doing good work in Stardom. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I think Bianca and Jade should have a tag team name. I don't think they will have a tag team name, but they should get one. Ash says, I don't watch a lot of wrestling, but the best women's match I've ever seen was an Asuka match. Yeah, I mean, look, Asuka is incredible. You heard it here 150,000th. Asuka is incredible. You kind of can't go wrong. Should she be the top of the division? There's an argument that she should be a singles champion in WWE. I don't think she always has to be one. I think she can be heated up at any time. I think her being in a faction helps out the wrestlers who are younger than her. Io Sky and Kairi Sane and Dakota Kai can learn a lot from being with Asuka, who is not ready to retire, but certainly towards the retirement age for a woman in wrestling. Who has other things going on and a kid and responsibilities outside of wrestling, who has dual citizenship and lives in 2 countries. Like, I totally would understand if she doesn't want to go 100%. Speaking of the singles championships that maybe Asuka should be holding, the World Heavyweight Champions, not World Heavyweight, sorry, the Women's Championship. There's a triple threat match for the Women's Championship, which is defended on SmackDown. Bayley, the current champion who won at WrestleMania, is defending against Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. Is it Tiffany time? Or is Tiff time? Is it Tiffy time? Is it going to be Tiffany Stratton? There is the chance. If there is another title that changes hands at that show, it will be this one. Who has the belt in wrestling is not just about who is the best wrestler. You're right. Yeah. Sometimes it is taking a chance. Sometimes it is showing what people can do. Sometimes it is politics involved in it, internal politics. Sometimes it is merch sellers. You're like, well, we want to do this because it will bump. Like, I know some people that are like, Cody Rhodes should lose the belt at SummerSlam. He doesn't need the belt. The chase is the best part. And to that I say, Cody Rhodes sold like $1 million worth of Cody Rhodes merchandise at WrestleMania. I think they're going to fucking keep the belt on Cody Rhodes for a while because he makes them so much fucking money. Like, I feel like they're just going to like stick with it for a bit. Eventually he'll drop it, but like have it for a bit. Sometimes it's about selling action figures of John Cena. Yes. And John Cena didn't always need a belt, but every once in a while, putting a belt on John Cena, well, that's going to help with some sales. They're going to sell tiny towels with the big C on it. So I think Bayley is retaining. I don't think Naomi wins at all. Tiffany Stratton could win. It might be Tiffy time. That might be interesting. She could cheat to win because it's not really cheating. She could fight dirty and win. And that could be interesting. I don't think they should do that. I think they should have Bayley win for a little while, and then I think Bayley should one-on-one lose to Tiff. Also, if you have Bayley pin Naomi, her friend and supporter, that could be some drama there with maybe our girl needs to maybe Naomi needs to get a little more aggressive. Stop worrying about friendship and doing the right thing and do what's right for her in her career. You can get into some shenanigans that way. I think that could work out pretty cool. And then rounding it out, because you can't just have all title matches at a pay-per-view. You got to have one match that doesn't really matter or for anything. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, the RKO show, which is not their name, but that is what some people call them. I think is a fun one. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens are teaming together. They have tagged before. They are not like buddies, but they appreciate each other. Especially with Kevin Owens being the wrestler who is, he understands the show and the product. Like he watches the show while it's on, and he is aware of what's going on. So he will occasionally comment on things. Like when somebody attacks someone, he'll go, "You know that wasn't me." Like he is at least somewhat self-aware, which can be fun. Kevin and Randy are taking on the Bloodline. And this Bloodline is represented by Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. This will be Tama Tonga's first WWE match. The Bloodline is going to win because there's something to be said for this new version of the Bloodline with Solo calling the shots. There is an interesting idea of what if they were shitty and they just lost all the time? What if the new Bloodline is bad at being successful? There's something to say for that. But if you are bringing in this man, Tama Tonga, as the enforcer of this new version of the Bloodline, he should probably win a match. Kevin Owens should probably get pins. Kevin Owens can eat a pin. He's beloved. He'll be fine. You know, he lost at WrestleMania again. He loses he won the year before the tag belts, but he doesn't have a good WrestleMania record. Like, Kevin will be fine. It's no big deficit for him if he loses to push another guy. Also, Tama Tonga is the real life son of Haku. And so he is a great bad man, you know, and it makes sense for him to be in there. I think it makes a lot of sense. Just make it a villainous victory. Yes. Oh, totally. I think you cheat to win. You have Paul trying to get involved. You do whatever you need to do. You make it so, oh, these are brutal boys. These boys are rough and tumble, but also they're going to cheat. And yeah, they need to establish it, because right now some people are not feeling it. But Solo Sikoa has barely spoken in WWE. He talked in NXT a bunch, but he doesn't really talk on the show. He's trying. He's learning. He's very young in the business and young just in general. Tama Tonga is much more seasoned in his time in New Japan. And I think he'll do a great job there, here in this role. And then there's also word that Jacob Fatu has also been signed. So we could get another member of the Usos and the Samoan Dynasty could also appear. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But it could. So yeah, that's France. I will talk about who won and lost on Saturday's stream, which will be the next stream, for me, Saturday night, because by then it'll have happened, because I'm going to watch it Saturday afternoon. I'm kind of bummed that neither tag belts are on the line. I would have liked to have seen, honestly, if you're not going to fly, why don't you fly R-Truth out to France? I think you should do that. I think they should have defended that. I think that would have been way cool. Très cool, even, if they had done that. Très bien, if they had flown out R-Truth, because that's just fun. Because he would have gone to the wrong place. You also would have had... you have had him saying French words wrong and all kinds of stuff. Would have been good. This is the first of 2 back-to-back pay-per-views in Europe. 3, I should say, because there's Clash at the Castle, Scotland, and then there's another pay-per-view in August, Bash in Berlin, which is the first ever Germany pay-per-view in Germany. The pay-per-view and live stream in Germany for WWE. Bash in Berlin is not a good name, but it is the name that they have put on. They have chosen for that. There was talk if Gunther was possibly who is from Austria, not Germany. I know that he is from Austria, But there was talk of like, are they going to turn him face, or are they just going to appreciate that people will cheer for him in Germany? And again, I understand. I know that Austria is not Germany. I know that some Americans don't seem to fucking know that. But I also know that I have a pretty good feeling that Gunther is going to be cheered in Germany. So I wonder if they'll make him face, or if they will just accept the fact that he will get cheered. It happens sometimes. National pride sometimes can outweigh whatever storyline a company is trying to put on. All right, we finished the chest here. This is looking pretty damn cool. I'm liking. I wish the gold was a little bit more bright, but I don't mind it terribly. Looks like we got some stickers to put on the head here. Oh, my least favorite thing. I'm going to be putting a sticker on a sticker. I fucking hate that. I hate that with some of these heads in this era of Gunpla. Like, that's just ridiculous that I am going to be doing that is required of me. I don't enjoy that part, but whoops. Can't really do anything about it. Whoop. Oh no. Marker fell. I'm going to have to really reach to get that, so hold on. You can hear me probably. I'm getting that. Picked up the marker that fell, and then I'm going to here. Great. We're good. Everything's cool. Let's see. Let me get some stickers on here, and then we'll take our pause for the cause and talk about ways you can support the channel, all that. And then we'll talk about some anime and then probably some video games and other things that people are into. You know, my chat with you about what you're up to and into. All of that in the second hour. All of that and more. Let's see. Are there any other wrestling news that we can report on? Let's see. Kenny Omega came back yesterday to AEW because they are in Winnipeg, which is his home area. And he got involved in some storylines. He talked about how he has not had surgery yet that he requires. He is trying to work without that surgery. Turns out he's going to get it later, but whatever. He got beat up real bad by his former friends. They really beat him up. John wants me to hit the dance button, and you know what? I will hit the dance button, and I will not remove the sticker, which I need to do next, because that would be dangerous. But here's the dance button. Thank you for using your channel points. Yeah, sounds like a little Gerudo Valley to me. Yeah, I mean, it's going for a bit of a Latin flair. Maybe you want to put Latin in parentheses or quotation marks, as say. But yeah, not a bad tune. Happy. I'm fairly pleased with it. All right, so I got to figure out where the sticker goes. It goes like this. Sticker goes on here, like this. This is a sticker that has to like go on and bend, and then I'm going to be putting another sticker on top of the sticker. So I kind of need to get this right so that the other sticker will go on correctly as well. All right. This sticker is on as best as I can get it. And then the eye sticker has to basically go on the dead center of this. Extreme business video revelation moment. Yeah, it's got a little bit of like PowerPoint slides advancing to that music. Yeah. All right. There's the eye. Again, I had to put a sticker on a sticker. I don't love doing that. That is not a design that I appreciate. But I also understand that this kit is kind of ramshackled of other kits and such, because that's part of the Build Fighters style. So I get it. And then I need to put on this piece into the head. And there's going to be another 2 stickers that have to go on the fin, not the fin, but the crown here. So I'll have to do that as well. This kit doesn't have like a ton of stickers. It's just apparently most of the stickers are part of the head, which is interesting because these 2 stickers also, the gray stickers also go on. And then there's just like 2 more after that. So almost all these stickers are chest or head stickers. D19. D19 is 16, 20, 22, 19. It's this piece here. Is there any other news here? I just want to give a shout out to Joe Hendry. I don't know if you know the professional wrestler Joe Hendry. He is a member of the TNA roster. He has done lots of work in the United Kingdom as a wrestler on the independent scene. He is, by all accounts, a lovely gentleman, and he makes a lot of parody songs. But his theme, which he sings and performs, where the chorus of which is "I Believe in Joe Hendry," has charted. He officially released the song on Spotify and YouTube Music and a bunch of other places, and it's bounced up and down as the #1 song on the charts for England, the digital charts. But yeah, he's been bouncing around a bunch of things, and that's neat and weird. You may remember Joe from a couple of years ago, where in a pro wrestling match, he tried to use a Sega Dreamcast as a weapon in a hardcore match, which was very fucking silly, and went over pretty good. It was pretty funny bit of business for old Joe Hendry. But yeah, shout out to Joe. Ash says, heading out. The sunrise is 30 minutes, and I want to go out and take some pictures in the morning light. Thank you for being here, Ash. I appreciate it. Enjoy the sunrise. Hope you get some great photos. And thank you for hanging out and chatting with us. But yeah, take it easy. Oh, that looks neat. All right, the head is almost done here. We've got one more piece to go on, and of course, panel line and all that. But we'll get the head piece in before we panel line. But yeah, shout out to Joe Hendry, who writes a bunch of songs and song parodies, and is climbing the charts, and makes and he's in a program where he's going to lose all the time, and that sucks. Sunrise is 4:30 a.m. Summer is weird this far north. Yeah, I hear you. You get a lot of daylight up there in this time of year. Totally, it's a lot. But thank you for hanging out. All right, I'm gonna pop out the piece that we need next, but I'm not gonna finish it until after our pause for the calls, and we'll hang out and all that. This piece needs 2 stickers on it, on the ridge parts here. Got to put a sticker on each, and then it will fit in here, and that's our head. That's your head. So we'll get that going in a moment or two. Yeah, wish this gold was a little better, but whatever. It's not the end of the world. It's just not exactly what I want. I'm going to drink a little water now, even before the pause for the calls, because it is warm in my room, because we had the air conditioning running, and the air conditioner, I believe, shut off for the night, and it is stuffy here in this room. Because I have a bunch of lights on. I have 2 lamps and a halo light here, and then also a light over here shining on the build surface, because if I don't have that on, it is dark. It is not too dark, but it is way brighter with it. So I gotta make sure everything's looking good over here. All right, we're gonna take a pause for the cause, folks. Excuse me. I'm going to talk about ways that that's right, you can support what I do here, which are all optional ways. But if you would like to support me, you can. There are various ways to do that, and I'll try to get through that pretty quickly, because I know some of you, this will be like the 100th time that I've talked about this. And let's start things off with, if you are currently a subscriber to the Build With Baer Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, and the Tier 2 Blue emote in the chat if you're a Tier 2 subscriber. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through cash money or your Prime Gaming token. You could be like Aristofan, who resubbed, which is very kind. But yeah, if you have Amazon Prime linked to your Twitch, you get that token. You can use that token for anyone. Why not use it for me? Because that would benefit me. We are currently at 31 subscribers right now. The goal is to get to 50. I shut up about subscriber numbers when we hit 50. So if you want to make me shut up about it, you could get me on the way. You could gift a sub. It's the beginning of May. It is May. It's not going to be May anymore. It is May. And if you want to top and be at the tippy top and look down on everyone from the gift sub leaderboard, you could do that. Or bits and coins, always appreciated. If you want to be in the cheer leaderboard, you could do that. You're under no obligation to do any of those things, but if you want to, this is the easiest way because you're already here on Twitch. And on mobile, you can do almost all of those things. Sometimes you can't do all of them because mobile is but in some cases, a BUTT in some cases. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/PatBaer. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier over on my Patreon. There are different rewards for different tiers. That's right. I've been doing it so long that they let me have a $1 tier. They don't let you do that anymore. But I'm grandfathered in, and I want to keep it because it's not a lot of money. So if you want to join me on Patreon, you get different rewards. Take a look to see what's there and if that's right for you. Because I know some people, they support a bunch of people on Patreon, and that's already where your money's coming out. So why not? I have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBaer. Subscribing to my YouTube channel is free, of course. And if you haven't already, please do, because I put videos up there all the time. But let's say you're over on YouTube and you see there's a join button. What's that, Pat? It's a membership. I have memberships set up on YouTube for $2 a month. You could become a member, and then you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. That's my gift to you. And so you would have seen the video that I put up yesterday, even a day early, which I'll talk about that video in a bit. So consider that. That might be something that works for you. Those are monthly ways to support me. And maybe you don't want to do a monthly thing. Maybe you just want to help me out now and again. Well, you could always tip me, a little tip jar, directly to PayPal or through Ko-Fi, which goes to my PayPal, but it's easier if you want to use a credit card. ko-fi.com/PatBaer and paypal.me/itspatbear. That's right. I have It's Pat Baer on PayPal. I'm mad about it. Doesn't match everything else that I do. It just is what it is. And everything that comes to me from direct donations, from YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and Twitch, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, I buy model kits like the R-GyaGya, which I am currently building right now. I was able to purchase the R-GyaGya because I was like, that's a fun kit. It's fun to say. It looks cool. I want to build it. And I was able to build it. So if you wanted to, you could help me out that way by supporting me in various financial ways. Or my $10 patrons were like, you should build that next. And they were right. But I got a backlog of other things to build. And my backlog, I'm ready to pull something out there to work on next after this kit. But there's a way to make it so that I can't do that. If you want to be like, no, Pat, you don't get to build that. Instead, you build what I want you to build. Well, to put your money where your mouth is, you can go to my Amazon wish list and buy something for me to build. I've got Lego sets and model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits that are on sale, kits that never go on sale, kits that have free shipping, kits that will never have free shipping, it seems like. A bunch of different stuff. For right now, I have a lot of stuff in the $19.99 range into like between like $17 and $21. I got a bunch of stuff. And then I have stuff that's more expensive than that. Way more expensive than that. And some stuff that's cheaper than that. But I would be happy to build these things if you wanted to purchase them. There's some gear at the bottom because maybe you want to support me but not spend or you don't know from model kits, you just think it would be good for me to have a better HDMI pass-through that I currently use. And you just think it would be better for me to have a better capture device. Yeah, I don't know. There might be something that you would like to buy there. If you buy something from my YouTube, or sorry, my YouTube, from my Amazon, I make a video for my YouTube about what you purchased, and it jumps the queue and becomes the next thing that I build. So that's how that works. My birthday is in June. So we are on our countdown to birthday 44. And if you want to buy me an early birthday gift, you could do it now, so you don't have to wait till June. I have a Throne wish list. It is nice to have alternatives to Amazon. That is my alternative to Amazon. Is on Throne. And what else we got? Oh yeah, the most convoluted, how could I forget? USA Gundam Store. Okay. I say all this because people have done this before, so it is important for me to mention USA Gundam Store. Here's how you help me out via USA Gundam Store. You go to the website. You buy a gift card there. They send you an email with the code for that gift card. It's not a physical one. You get a digital gift card code. You then send me a DM on Twitter, because my DMs are open, or a whisper here on Twitch with that gift card code. And then I use that gift card code to buy a model kit, or model kits, I guess, from USA Gundam Store. It is the most ridiculous way to support me financially if you wanted to do that. And more people have done that than bought me a gift card from Throne for whatever, or an item for Throne. Do you have a P.O. box where one could send you a written copy of the code? No, John. That would make it even more convoluted if I made you mail a physical piece of paper with a gift card code written on it that I would then have to enter into a computer. But no, unfortunately, John, I do not have a P.O. box. People have asked about that. It is a monthly expense that does not make sense for me to have, because I would want to have it like a couple towns away. And P.O. boxes, yeah. P.O. boxes are not like funny. They're not cheap enough to make sense to do. I understand, John. You were trying to make it even more convoluted, not colluded. You were trying to make it even more convoluted, which I understand and appreciate, but I did want to just clarify for people, because occasionally people do ask, could I mail you a model kit? To which I say, that sounds awesome. If we are friends in real life, I will give you my address. But it's my parents' address, so if we are not friends in real life, no. And I don't have a solution for that, unfortunately. The only thing I could say is sell it and then buy it again for me from a website, which doesn't make any sense. I have a Discord. Join my Discord. That's a way to support me for free. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they like to talk about and build. People occasionally throw in stuff that I will probably talk about on stream. It's a nice little place. You're welcome there. Would love to have you. Hey, here's a couple video links for you to check out. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I did a video recommending some shows from this season. I think at least one of those shows I'll be talking about tonight. Yeah. Bartender, Glass of God. So I talked about it in there, and I'll be talking about the episodes because I'm caught up on Bartender, Glass of God. I took a break from that, but I'm back on my bullshit. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series. I usually come up with themes, so every month there's a different theme, and May's theme is some of my favorite shows from the 2000s, which is, it's not a lost anime decade, but a lot of people, when they think of 2000s anime, they think of anime from like 2009 or anime from 1999. So I want to showcase a few shows from like kind of like the middle of the 2000s, including Ouran High School Host Club, which is a romantic comedy that is high on comedy and low on romance. It's really a found family comedy. Because while there is set up to be like a reverse harem where there's a bunch of boys and a girl pretending to be a boy, and they fight and they become closer and people grow and change. It's also a series where it's like everybody just wants what's best for each other, and it's not a fight over who gets to be with the girl. And it's refreshing and kind of fucking rad. So Ouran High School Host Club is a show that like you might have missed and is available for you to watch. That's the other important thing in Kuma Baer is every show that I recommend has to be streamable in the United States at the very least. It might not be worldwide, but at the very least, it's got to be streamable in the U.S. That's important to me. So I am not recommending stuff that you can't watch. I've seen that name several times. It's really good. It feels very early 2000s when you look at it. But it's got a lot of heart. And the voice talent, there is a now disgraced voice actor, a now creep. Hey, Vicky, welcome. There's now a creep who does the voice in the show, but he is a good voice actor. And the rest of the cast, as far as I know, are not creeps. But it's got a good dub voice cast and a great Japanese cast as well. So, yeah. Maybe the minute-long version of me selling that would be cool to check out. I don't know. I have some anime to talk about, speaking of anime. And we'll get into that. Oh, what happened there? I messed that up. Here we go. We'll talk about some anime. An important episode of one thing. And then we'll get caught up on another series. But before I do that, here's what needs to happen. I have to drink some water. And we have to change back from this into an overhead camera shot of what I'm working on. So let's do that. Excuse me. Whoa. Let's do that dramatically right now. All right. So let me get this set. Let's finish the head here, and then we'll move on to other stuff. The many sides of voice actor radio, there's some drama afoot. If you have not been watching the series, it is two girls who are secretly voice actors. Their school life, their friends, their family knows, but their friends don't know. And they have tried to keep it a secret. They are both struggling. One is a bit more successful than the other. You got Yumiko, who is really struggling with this, and Chika, who is... She's had it rough, but she's also starting to get some success, including a role as a lead in a show that Yumiko also auditioned for. And they both got cast to be on this radio show where they play a version of themselves and then do skits and have conversations. And some of it's improv and some of it is scripted jokes and such. And apparently that's getting canceled. That's probably going to get canceled because it's not popular enough. And because of all this, Yumiko is furious. And she says something that she immediately regrets. She insinuates that Chika did something sleazy in order to get that role. Which is not true. But she does say that. But she does apologize. She wants to apologize. But she does not have the opportunity to do so because Chika is in a scandal. There is a photo of her with a man hugging someone, and there is talk that that Chika is a voice actor, secretly an idol. And then there's the guy, episode 1, that we got introduced to a fanboy, and we hadn't really dealt with him too much. He was there was a minor character in the first episode that was oh, maybe that'll become important later. He was a guy that's a big fanboy of both of them, and he's basically just like, hey, both of you are idols, right? What's going on? And then there is a guy who has exposed them. There is a dude that is reportedly a fan of idols, but has like social media, and he is there to ambush them. Basically, it's like harassing Chica, who shows up for an interview. So basically, he's just being a piece of shit, and it's tough. And he is this scumbag is trying to expose Chica because she's swooping her way to the top. But it's obviously something that he's just making up. Our fanboy tries to intervene. He's just he's a stan. He's not a bad fan. He's maybe a little bit of an obsessive fan, but he's not a bad obsessive. He's not a stan. He's just a fan. But that's not enough. And basically, he's basically just like, I'm going to expose you, and this is going to work out great. And then he gets punched in the fucking face. And told off for his hypocrisy because he's not a fan. He's trying to hurt people and make stuff up, and he's just trying to become famous himself, and a bunch of other things that a teen would yell when they are righteously angry about a thing. But yeah, he gets punched in the face by an idol, which is pretty cool. Because Chica's like broken up about it. But she did fucking punch a dude. Yumiko apologizes for what she said in the last episode, which is nice. And basically it's just like, I know that you didn't do what you're being accused of, but I don't know how you're going to convince people, unfortunately. Like, she's like still being realistic about it. And basically she's thinking about like, I think I'm going to quit. Yumiko runs into her friend, Wakana, who we met in the first episode and haven't really seen since. And Wakana's just being like, hey, I figured you had a secret. That secret being that she's an idol. It's like, but I didn't say anything because I felt like you would tell me if you needed to. But you know, still supporting her, which is nice. Yumiko kind of figures out, all right, what I need to do is, she calls her manager. And she's like, I think I'm probably gonna have to step away from the agency because I am going to do something that won't work out great, probably. So she's pretty sure that she's probably going to have to distance herself from the agency. She schedules a special edition of the radio show, and she basically just like puts it out there. She's like, hey, I'm so-and-so. My co-host is so-and-so. We kept things a secret, blah, blah, blah. Just kind of like saying how hard they worked. And basically being like, kind of just like pulls back the curtain and is just like, hey, we are, we actually don't get along too well. We're rivals. And we were kind of lying to you by portraying these characters, but we work really hard. And we didn't do anything wrong. And also Chica rules and you guys are being jerks. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome. I'm talking about an episode of an anime, the Many Sides of Voice Actor Radio, episode 4. I'm just kind of going through that as I build a model kit. Talking about what happened in the episode. Of course, Chica is there and hears all of this. This is now the second time in as many episodes that one girl has overheard the other girl say very nice and supportive things about one another, which is very fun. And then the director of the anime shows up. And that fan took a photo of Chica and this director of the anime hugging. And turns out that's Chica's dad, which we remember. Like, I'll say this, friends. I fucking forgot. I knew that Chica's parents were divorced from the show. But I forgot that he was in animation. And one of the reasons why she got into voice acting was because she thought it was so cool that her dad was an animator. Apparently, he has moved up to being a director. And she got the job despite that, supposedly. Um, uh, and he wasn't supporting her, and she obviously went in under another name, and he didn't tell people until she got hired. Oh, hey, that's my daughter. To kind of explain that. But she worked really hard. Um, and then suppose that we end on a bit of a cliffhanger, but it seems like maybe this stunt, which probably probably didn't need to save Chika's job, so Yumiko is embarrassed because it was probably okay, but it might have helped out their radio show because fans could be super into the idea of idols being honest with them. It could work. And so we'll see. And then the preview basically is like there is a new character. There is a new voice actor or an aspiring voice actor coming in, and we don't know what that's going to be. This was a good episode. I love it. It's pretty natural. I love the idea of, well, this is probably not going to work out, but I'm still going to do it. That is, I think in anime, especially teen anime, it is very fun to have a character who's just like, I'm going to go do a big thing that probably won't make anything better, but it's the only thing I can think of, and I'm not in a position where I'm going to just do nothing. And I like that. And then Wakana was in that episode, and I like her because she's another Giru that is a supportive Giru, and she's still supportive of her friend, which is nice. It's nice that she's still looking out for her friend. All right, so this is gonna go in like, I have to make sure this is right. Yeah, okay. We are working on the right arm, so I gotta make sure I'm doing this correctly. So I gotta be correct about the right arm. Okay, there it goes. Didn't seem like it wanted to fit, but it does want to fit. The next anime that we're talking about, we're going to get caught up on Bartender, Glass of God. Episodes 4 and 5 of Bartender, Glass of God. I had decided I was taking a break from it. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep watching it. Had other stuff I wanted to talk about, but I really do enjoy this series. And I'm going to give you the quick talk through of episodes 4 and 5. Because again, this is a series I do like chatting with you about because I think it's an interesting series. But one of the biggest selling points of Bartender Glass of God, is the expressive animation around drinking. Like there certainly there's a lot of philosophy, and we'll get into some of that philosophy in one of these episodes, particularly the episode 4. But a lot of it is watching. It's not rotoscoped as far as I can tell, but it's very clear that a lot of attention to detail is put into the drinks, the building of drinks, assembly of drinks, I should say. Lots of effort is put into that particular anime. So, episode 4, the Hotel Cardinal, who has been searching for the best bartender in the world and have been unable to secure said best bartender. They have more problems. The head chef is leaving, and they need to find a new head chef. E14. E14 is this piece here. Great. They want to convince a prospect, Yamamuchi, to run the hotel's restaurant. He's apparently kind of fussy, and they want Ryu, who's probably the best bartender for the job, who has turned down their attempts to recruit him. They're like, well, hey, could you help us with this? And he seems to agree for some reason. As of unknown reasons, he agrees to help them out. Let's make sure I'm getting this all right here. I am. I'm doing this properly, I think. Yeah, because it'll go like that. Yes. Okay. We'll find out here in a bit, but I think I am doing this correctly. As always, sometimes I will screw things up and then we can fix it and then go back and the time I do the other arm or leg or whatever, it'll be better because I'll have had a whole arm to figure it out on. D3 and D4. Got it. Okay, so they take him to the bar, and Ryu gives him a blind taste test of an aged Japanese mirin. But here's the thing. It actually tastes like, because the way it was aged, European sherry. So this dude was convinced it was European sherry, but it's not. It's just sometimes your preconceived notions are wrong. And that is enough for this dude to be like, oh, what else am I wrong about? Which is fun, but kind of silly. And then there is a new bartender at the bar that Ryu works at, Kyoko. And the boss tells her that her martini has no face, which I have never heard before, but a friend of mine was like, is watching this show. The reason why I got back into it after being like, I don't know if I'm going to keep watching this actually, or watch it weekly. A friend of mine was like, oh, I don't know, man. They had no face. And I was like, oh, okay. Apparently that is a thing that some people have referred to. Because Ryu is like, each martini is different, but the character and fragrance of the gin must show through. It's still, even if there are a bunch of different kinds of martinis, they're all gin drinks, and you got to taste the goddamn gin in it, I guess. Again, as someone that doesn't drink, I don't fucking know. But it's interesting. Oh, we dropped down. We're down to 30 subscribers. Someone's subscription is up for renewal, and they haven't renewed it yet. Hopefully they will. We're down to 30 subscribers. The goal is to get to 50. I shut up about it to 50. 30 to 50. We can do it. We can make it happen. It's not essential, but we can. D16. Okay, so that was episode 4. Again, lots of talk about drinks in this one, of course. Ryo takes his Kyoko, so he basically, the other young bartenders we've seen, Kyoko, Yuri, and Kelvin from Bar K, who we kind of just see in the background, to a whiskey distillery, which is just to kind of see what's going on. There's probably ulterior motives, but right now it seems like he's just like wanting to take them on a tour of a distillery. Is this the right way? Ooh, is this the right way? This doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right at all. There it is. That's right. Okay. All right. Getting this arm done. Figuring this arm out. Getting this arm looking good. 2 more parts on here. We'll get those on, and then we'll be able to work on the hand. And then we can start working on the other arm, because this kit is coming together pretty easy. I think the legs are going to be more detailed, but the arms are not super detailed. Of course, we got to panel line it and do all that, but you know, we got parts to do on this. So episode 5, distillery. Kelvin is appearing distant, and apparently he has a close friendship with someone who is the daughter of the hotel owner, where he stayed with his father 12 years ago. So he's got a connection to a girl, and apparently he promised to take her to a festival, but they did not go to that festival, and he's regretted it ever since. And it seems like it's coming out of nowhere, but this is a thing that has apparently bothered this dude for a very long time. E7. E7. Great. Ryu encourages Kelvin to like, hey, try this new whiskey before it matures, and let go of your regrets. And basically, he's just like, just you also need to mature, because you can't just always live in your regrets. You gotta eventually seize the moment or whatever. I don't know. It sounds better when it comes from a bartender than from me recapping this. But basically, he's just like, I don't know, dude. You gotta get over it. Basically, this doesn't look right. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, that's where that goes. It just doesn't fit snug. All right, and then this piece goes on here. All right. Yeah. Okay. Neat. And then we'll panel. We'll get the hand on here, and then we'll panel line it. Meanwhile, Kyokyo and Yuri enjoyed themselves so much visiting local bars that they missed the last train home. And there's a whole thing about that, and a little bit of shenanigans. There's some other stuff. This episode seems to have forgotten part of the premise of the show, which is that they want this dude to be the head bartender of this hotel. But I think it's okay to have an episode that doesn't focus on that, because it could get too monotonous about it. Like at a certain point, it's like, well, then they should, at some point they would just give up. At some point they would just go, all right, he doesn't want to do it, even if he is the perfect person. Also, we did have that whole thing with the other bartender that made him second guess himself, and that seems to have dropped. So maybe that'll come back up in episode 6. I don't know. I'm going to keep watching Bartender, A Glass of God. I think it is a cool show. It's not... it for a little ways, I was like, I don't know about this one. But the more I've come around on it, and I really do think it's strong. And so I'll have more to say about it next week. We have some time left on the stream for y'all to talk to me about what you're into. I want to hear from you now. What are you watching right now? Are you watching any anime? Are you watching any TV? You watching some sports, hockey or basketball? Going to the movies? Playing some video games or tabletop games or something? Now's the part of the stream where I want to hear from you. What are you up to? What are you into? What's got you going? I played quite a bit of Helldivers 2 yesterday. That was really fun. It has been a while. We're getting back into the swing of things. The group has focused on that, and it has been a good time. And that has been really fun. I had a D&D session with my main D&D crew, and that makes me happy that we were able to do that this week, because it looked like we were going to be able to start meeting again consistently, and that is true. We had a D&D session yesterday, and that was great. I was very happy about that. As far as video games go, Helldivers, as I said, I'm playing a lot of Hearthstone every day. I have optimized my dragon deck. It is not as good as it used to be, because you saw on stream, you just had to have 5 dragons, and then you could activate it. Now it's 8 dragons, and that just slows it down and opens up the opportunity for my opponent to just run the board against me. Also, there are a lot of 40 health decks, and it's harder for me to do that much damage in 2 turns, turns out. So I'm still getting wins with it. It's just not as completely easy to win with it. I think my win rate is now down to 60% instead of 70-something%. Still good. And I have a standard paladin deck that's doing pretty well as well. And overall, I'm still into Hearthstone, even if I'm a little annoyed with them making changes to the deck I really liked playing. And I got a few things that I might spend some dust on to try to make a different deck that seemed kind of neat. I don't know yet. There is a deck that is basically, it's not it's Token Druid, but it's kind of like Jade Druid 2.0. And I've been trying to figure out if I want to play that deck or not. It doesn't really require much to get it to go. So I'm like, I might try it. I don't know. I don't know yet. But I want to hear from you, friends. If you're playing anything, watching anything, hey, it's almost the weekend. Do you have weekend plans that you want to chat with me, your friend Pat, about? Are there things coming up this weekend that you're like, oh, this is the thing I'm looking forward to doing this, Pat? Or, well, it's the summer, so or the spring, I should say. So I'm doing these things. Like, let me know. I want to hear from you. I did more lawn care stuff today, which is not particularly interesting or exciting, but it is true. That is more things that I'm doing because things keep growing and need to get chopped and mowed and pulled back. So I'm still doing that. I don't know. I've been walking a lot, but it's getting hotter and hotter. So I'm probably not going to walk tomorrow. I think tomorrow I might just ride the bike in the garage because I've got the attachment for the bike that turns into an exercise bike. So I might just do that and not go out and walking. I will still sweat a ton, but I will sweat a bit less inside the garage with the door open. So that's I believe what I will be doing. As far as any other weekend plans, I don't really have anything this weekend. I'm going to watch wrestling Saturday afternoon and stream Saturday night, of course. Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling has a show, a live show, and normally that would be late night Saturday for us, our time, my time, I should say. But that won't be the case because of a holiday week. So their show is actually Monday afternoon. And so it'll be late Sunday night. And I think I'm going to watch it live. I haven't watched a Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling show live since WrestleMania week. And before that, I don't remember the last time I stayed up to watch one. And it's starting at like 10 p.m. Eastern. So I was like, I think I'm going to fucking stay up and watch that. Because it'll be like a 3-hour show probably. It probably won't actually start until like 11 and then be a 3-hour show. But I'm gonna go for it. Aristvan says, I've been playing Hearthstone. Lately I've been playing a Paladin hand buff deck. I also started up Stellar Blade. Nice. I don't think I'm going to get Stellar Blade, but it does seem neat. Hand buff Paladin can be pretty fucking strong. I have not played that one of those in a while, but I had this is years ago. I had a buff, a hand buff Paladin built around swapping out stuff, like cheating out big minions from your hand that were taunts. It was a taunt buff Paladin that worked out pretty good, but I have not played that in quite some time, or a version of that. My standard Paladin right now is cheating big minions, and it works out pretty good. When it works, it works good. Lord Crashing says, I got emulation stuff working on on the Analog Pocket, so I have a bunch more games to play on it, which is cool. Played a bit of Final Fantasy 3 on it as SNES, which is definitely a Final Fantasy game with a cool intro. You're not wrong. Good. I'm glad you're getting stuff. Look, if you know, getting those things running is important because you want to be able to play those games. You want to be able to justify the purchase of the thing. Sometimes it is just a cool paperweight, but if you can get it to do stuff, that's also awesome. Like, so yeah, figuring that stuff out, that's great. I'm glad you're able to get some emulators working on it. I need D1 and D2. Unjan needs to look into that. Been doing Archipelago Randomizer with some friends, making slow progress through Crisis Core. This is Unjan. Watching Dungeon Meshi, and the best part about the weekend for me is not working. Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, tomorrow I am going to bike and respond to emails and fill out a form for my passport stuff because I'm mailing that out on Monday. So I have to fill out the form and write a check. I have to find my checkbook. I know what drawer it's in. It's probably in the back of it because I don't write checks that often, weirdly enough. Um, and then also moderate Jeff Gerstmann's stream in the afternoon. And that's my Friday. And then at Friday night, watch SmackDown. So like my Friday is definitely a weekend day. Like I said, I have a few things I need to take care of, but I recorded video that I need for next week already. I'm ahead on that. My emails that I need to respond to, I could honestly do tonight if I'm feeling up for it. Like, everything is pretty much gravy for me right now as far as my schedule, because I got a lot done today. Thursday, I try to get a lot done. Even with the stream, I do try to get as much done as I can. So, because my weekends are often somewhat busy. Like I need to watch wrestling Saturday afternoon, and then I'm gonna have to find time to watch anime. When am I gonna watch that? When am I gonna watch Windbreaker and Whisper Me a Love Song? Will I get to the next episode of Whisper Me a Love Song for Saturday, or will I have to wait? Windbreaker I'm probably gonna watch tomorrow, but like, what about Whisper Me a Love Song? Well, I watch it on Saturday. I don't know. I might not get to all the anime that I want to talk about, and I'll have to wait. It's possible. Might get real fucked up with it. Who knows? E24. Where are you? E24. 24, there you are. But it is, like I said, I'm going to try to have an easy Friday, because Saturday I got a few things going on, including watching a bunch of wrestling with some friends, which will still be a good time. Still be fun. Okay, so this is going to go like this. Yeah, as far as my weekend goes, excited about all of that, and then getting ready for next week. And then, also Saturday we're having pizza, so I'm excited about that. At least there won't be Collision to catch up on. Yes, Lashbrook, I will not have to watch the late night replay of Collision, and especially followed by Rampage. Although supposedly next week is the last time that Rampage is on at a weird time. Next week will be Collision and Rampage, and then after that, Rampage goes back to its regular scheduled time. So that's good for everybody. Although Wednesday Rampage was fucking pretty rad, gotta say. Main event Willow Nightingale in a fucking street fight. She got a very cool title defense in, which will probably be the last one, because I don't think she's going to get another title defense in before she loses the belt to Mercedes Moné. Because I fully expect that to be what happens, unfortunately. Sorry, Willow. I don't see you beating Mercedes in her first match in AEW. I just don't see it. I think it would be cool if that happened, but I don't see it. Because they would just love to put that belt on her. But I'm glad that, as I said, I'm glad that she got a title defense in before having to drop. It was neat. And a good time. Sky Blue just keeps getting better and better as a wrestler. But yeah, no Collision tomorrow, or Saturday, so I will just have afternoon Saturday show to watch instead. And I kind of love the idea of a Saturday afternoon show to watch at my leisure. I think that's pretty great. All right, so God, I say this kit is flying, but the shoulders are big pieces that are going to require a lot of work, and there's a lot of weapons on this kit, and there's a lot to do. There's the shoulders, and then there's the things that stick to the shoulders, and there's a beam lance to build, and the shoulder pieces come off and can be shields that also have nice glowing pieces off of them, which is really fun. And also you can make a double lance, which is cool as hell. That's just fucking cool. You can make a double-ended lance. That's just neat. So there's still a lot to build with this kit. So like I say, in tonight's stream, we advanced pretty well and built a lot of it. And that's true. I'm not saying it isn't true, but there's still a lot more to go with this. One thing that sucks is it's kind of hard you can't really let this kit lay flat because it's the way the backpack or the booster is. But that's okay. That's a minor problem. We can always just do like that. Let's see. Will this balance it if I do like that? Yeah, I can balance it like that. Let's get the... I haven't finished the arm here. I still have to do this step, which I'm going to just kind of do this. Sometimes I like to mark it. This is where I left off so that I know. Because I have to do the back of this arm. I'm just going to jump and do the hands so that it's... Because it looks weird when it's just the one part of the hand. I don't know if you would think that's weird. That it's like, oh, I built one hand, but I didn't build the other hand. But I think it's weird when I look at it. So, 121. Yeah. Let's see. Next stream will be Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, where I will continue working on this kit because there's still plenty more to do for it. But that is going to do it for tonight. Tonight's build we're done with. And it's looking fucking pretty great, I think. But yeah, that is going to finish off tonight's stream. I want to thank everybody for spending some time with me, joining me here on the old Build With Baer Workshop. Reminder, again, my next stream is on Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, where I'll continue working on this kit, talking about anime, and talking to you about a bunch of things and things. And I hope that you will, if you can, I hope you'll come back on Saturday. Hey, if you're new to the stream, hit the follow button so you know when I go live, and you can come hang out while I'm working. I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Monday, Thursday, and Saturday is model kit building night. Tuesday night is other, usually video games, occasionally something else. And, love to have you there for that. Who is doing what and when? How long we never get to raid this, but how long have they been going? Oh, almost 3 hours, so Ian is going to bounce out, I'm sure. So we're not going to raid Ian. I love Ian, but we're not going to round him out. Because Ian's probably wrapping up. Let's see. Arthur Geese is playing Fallout 4. We're going to go raid Arthur. Arthur's good people. We have raided Arthur playing Fallout 4 before. Wait. Oh, I think he's on a break. Is he on a break? Let's see. Let me chat here. You know what? He's on a break. We're still going to raid him. We'll go and hang out with him and chat. Even though he's on a break, because he is the streamer that I want to go raid tonight. So we're going to go raid Arthur Geese. Feel free to come along on this raid. As I said, he's on a bit of a break, but we'll be there when he comes back, which is nice. John says, you forgot to say we always end with the raid. You're right. We always end with a raid. And tonight is no exception. We didn't always end with a raid. But once we started to end with a raid, we now always end with a raid. Again, Arthur is apparently on break. But we'll go and raid him because it'll be nice to go in there. Feel free to come along on this. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks to everybody for being here. I will see you on Saturday. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.